Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashem, Yahawah'S, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect men, women, and children. So, while you were asleep, all right, you had a Baltimore bridge collapse. It says, what do we know about the Francis Scott Key Bridge? And it's all spiritual. We in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, knowing that this is the time of the visitation of Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai upon this wicked world, all right, and particularly here in Babylon the Great, all right. We know that there's going to be a lot of turmoil, all right, a lot of destruction that is going to take place in his place, all right, and it's rightfully so. It's a long time coming. Okay, so it says March 26th, Baltimore Francis Scott Key Bridge collapsed on Tuesday after a container ship smashed into it, plunging cars into the water. It is a major traffic and transportation hub for the U.S. East Coast and an entry point to the port of Baltimore. Now, whether this was, by mistake, all right, or whether this was, done on purpose, the effect is all that matters. Okay, is this going to be a major disruption in the as it says here for traffic and transportation on the East Coast? And when we continue to read, it tells you the various different products and goods that comes through this port. So this port is going to be closed down because the bridge, what you see in this picture right here, it's collapsed. So this whole area right here you can't go in or out of the port. All right, so let's this is another picture. And when you see the video, I don't have a picture of the video, but I mean, when you see it, these are just still shots. It's kind of like, how in the hell did this, just go right into the bridge, right? I'm sure this happened, ships go in and out all the time. So what made this one ship just as, decide to, or mistakenly, quote unquote, just collide right into the one of the pillars? But looking at from a spiritual aspect of it, when you go down, it says the 4-lane steel bridge opened in 1977 after 5 years of construction and spanned 1.6 miles. It crossed the Patapsco River, where the U.S. national anthem author Francis Scott Key wrote the Star-Spangled Banner. All right, and that's the national anthem. So, looking at this from a spiritual aspect, you have this bridge that is named after the author of the national anthem, just collapse, which is very, very interesting in terms of the times that we're in, and the Lord, ultimately about to bring down Babylon the Great. Okay, it says in 1814, after witnessing the British defeat of the Battle of Baltimore and the British bombing of Fort McHenry, it has 180 feet of vertical clearance. Built on the estimate, that doesn't matter. It says gateway to Baltimore Port. The bridge leads to the port of Baltimore, the deepest harbor in Maryland's Chesapeake Bay. It is the busiest U.S. port for car shipments, handling more than 750,000 vehicles in 2023, according to official data. It also is the largest U.S. port by volume for handling farm and construction machinery, as well as agricultural products and a cruise terminal. All right, and that's that's pretty much the key right there. The volume is the largest port that is handling farm and construction machinery as well as agricultural products. All right, and so this could very well be a major step into the famine. All right, not the famine of the word, but the actual famine of food here in America, because we know that that is prophesied as well. All right. In various scriptures, one that comes to mind is Matthew, the 24th chapter, where the Lord said that there shall be famines. You see? So it says, with operators of Norwegian, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, all using the port for Caribbean, Canadian, and other Atlantic destinations. Says other structures along the route include a 0.64-mile dual-span drawbridge over Curtis Creek and two 2.74-mile parallel bridges structures that carry traffic over Bear Creek near Bethlehem's Steel Sparrows Point. Maryland's Transportation Authority called the incident a major traffic alert and redirected cars to the I-95 or I-89 or I-895 highways. Large trucks are prohibited from using the I-95 tunnel that goes under the Baltimore harbor. Okay, so it says because of the bridge collapse, ships are not leaving the port of Baltimore. More than 40 ships remain inside the port, including small cargo ships, tugboats, and pleasure crafts. Data from ship tracking and maritime analytics provider Maritime Traffic showed at least 30 other ships have signaled their destination was Baltimore, the data showed. So once again, no ships going in and no ships want to be able to go out. And if this is a large, the largest U.S. Where was it at? If it's this the largest U.S. port by volume of handling, things like farm and construction machinery and agricultural product, then this is not going to be something that they just are able to fix overnight. Okay, if it took 5 years for them to construct this bridge, it may take even longer at this point because they got to clear it all out, right? They got to get the whole architectural structure. This is going to be problematic for a long time, and the longer it goes, the more it's going to be strenuous on the actual port and the products that were going in and out of it. All right, so quick scripture, as we see, the times, like I said, we in the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Hey, the Lord is doing work, man. Psalms chapter 126. So like Psalms chapter 119. Always do that. Verse 126. It is time for thee, Yahawah'S, to work, for they have made void thy law. All right. They regarded the law as void. And that is what, specifically here in America, that is what is promoted here. The opposition, all right, and the wickedness that goes on here is all against the ways of Yahawah. And the Lord said in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter, let's get that, verse 5, it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Okay, let's see what it's got here. All right, Revelation 16:19, and the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came into remembrance before God to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. All right, and that's ultimately going to be completed during the World War III and the return of Yahawah with the host of heavens, all right, burning this place, utterly destroying it. But as we're seeing now, the Lord is bringing plagues upon it. Okay, and these plagues, something like this, is only going to just add on to even more plagues. Right, and this, like I said, the significance or the spiritual sense of this being the bridge named after the author of the Star Spangled Banner, which is the U.S. national anthem, shows that what this place is over. Okay, we are witnessing the downfall of America, man. Babylon the Great, which is a beautiful thing to behold. All right, Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. And everything that we're seeing is just constant decadency, constant things that are just going wrong in this place, causing more havoc, causing more, anxiety and stress, death, because they say that they believe that at least 7 people are missing that was on the bridge when it collapsed. Right, 7 being completion. So there's a lot of spiritual inclinations to this whole thing. Like I said, it being the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Okay, we just had the Passover, so we're seeing the Lord, destroy the land of our captivity right before our eyes. Let me get that as well in the book of Second Ezra, it's Baruch. Baruch chapter 4. Baruch chapter 4, verse 30. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, the people, for he that gave thee thy name will comfort thee. And seeing these things happen is comforting. Me and the brothers were speaking in the chat this morning, and I was at the gym in the morning, and they were showing the actual the video of the bridge collapsing, and nobody was paying attention to it. Everybody, there's just a bunch of zombies. Here you have a major incident that takes place in America, something that clearly is, doesn't happen daily, but people are so desensitized to bad news that it's just to them just another day in Babylon, right? But it's going to get to the point where it's going to be something that you can't just ignore. It's going to be something that affects millions of people. All right, whether it be a cyber attack, something on an electrical grid, some type of plague or pestilence, a natural disaster, is something the Lord is only heightening the plagues and the destruction that He's bringing. Remember, these are the beginning of sorrows, as Ezra saw, the beginning of mournings and great mournings and great death. All right, so we are, in the chat when we was talking, we were saying how, to the outside world, we would look crazy, right? Because we over here rejoicing at this bridge collapsing. And while everybody else sees this as, a terrible incident, a horrific incident, and it is horrific, right? It is terrible. But what? The Lord said that evils and only evils are coming. And He is bringing terribleness. The King of Terrors is bringing terrible things upon this wicked place. And we want the judgment of Yahawah to go forth. Matter of fact, let me get a quick scripture before I go back there. Zechariah 3. Zechariah 3, verse 5, it says, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doeth He bring His judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. See, so the Lord is in control of everything that is going on. So when something like this happens, it's justified. Remember, the scripture says, who perished being innocent. So even the people that died, that that are potentially dead, that was on that bridge, they didn't die innocently. That was their judgment. And that happened, within, I think they said the authorities got a call at 1:30 in the morning. So, majority of people, especially here on the East Coast, was sleeping, and the Lord bringing judgment early in the morning, man. Okay? And it says He would not do iniquity. But what? The unjust knoweth no shame. These people here in America, they still are going to continue just to go about in their folly, right? Go about in their evil thoughts, all right? Not considering the scourges that the Lord is sending, not thinking about repenting, right? Not thinking about the error of their ways. They're just only going to wax worse and worse. So as they continue to wax worse and worse, what is the Lord going to do? His wrath is going to come down harder and harder until there is no remedy, until there is no avoiding it, until there is no escaping. Okay, and we being a hopeful elect, are the ones that are hoping to be exempt from the judgment that is going out. Because as it says in Psalms, the 91st chapter, 1,000 on thy right hand and 10,000 on thy left, right? Or it could be the opposite way, but it shall not come nigh unto thee. We want to be the ones that it does not come nigh unto, because we are here in a place where the Lord is bringing his wrath upon, right? We are, a majority of the elect are in Babylon the Great. So, hey, being in the midst of it, but being delivered out of it is the position that we want to be in. You see? So let's go back to Baruch. It says, Baruch 4 verse 30, take good heed, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee thy name will comfort thee, and these things happening is comforting unto us. Verse 31, miserable are they that afflict thee and rejoice at thy fall. Right, because even in that national in the Star Spangled Banner, right, there's a part in it that isn't commonly recited, but when you read it, there's a part in the lyrics that talks about the slaves, right? Us being slaves, and they're not speaking in a sense of pitying us. Okay, actually, matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. Um, Star Spangled Banner slaves. Lyrics about slaves. Let's see. It says, all right, it says, we will pursue you to get revenge. No refuge could save the hireling or slaves. All right, it says free. What is it? You will see that the slave and hireling were used in a pejorative fashion to describe free people carrying out the wishes of a more powerful person. All right, but nonetheless, it references the slaves, and who were the slaves during this time? Okay, it was the Israelites. That's why it says, miserable are they that afflict thee. And here in America, people are miserable. Anxiety is at an all-time high. Depression is at an all-time high. All right, pessimism is at an all-time high. And why is that happening? It's all for the controversy of Zion. Because as it says in Baruch, that what? In the land of our captivity, we will remember ourselves and think upon his name. And once that happens, that's when the Lord was going to visit Babylon the Great. He was going to remember her iniquities. You think that you're going to do all of this atrocities, treat the apple of the Most High's eye the way that it has been treating, and you are going to go unpunished? Okay, the scripture says that you will not go unpunished, man. Right? Jeremiah 25. Let's get it real quick. Or is it 29? I think it might be 20. Yep. Jeremiah 25, verse 29. For lo, I begin to bring evil on the city, which is called by my name, which is who? Jerusalem, Israel. And should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished, for I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts. That's right. And that's why you're seeing all these destruction happening all throughout the world. So back in Baruch 4 verse 32, miserable are the cities which thy children served. We just read in national anthem, they spoke about the slaves. So we were serving here. Miserable is she that received thy sons. For as she rejoiced at thy ruin and was glad at thy fall, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. Okay? Being grieved for her own desolation. Every time you look up, there's some type of destruction, desolation, chaos, right? That is happening in this place. Because there's no healing Babylon. You can't catch a break, right? Financially, economically, morally, structurally. It's through, man. This place is done, cooked, finito. It says, so shall she be grieved for her own desolation. For I will take away the rejoicing of her great multitude, and her pride shall be turned into mourning. Woo! Her pride is going to be turned into mourning. So, all of these cities that they built, right? All of the bridges and everything that made this place a great nation or a great city, right? All of that is about to be taken away. The Lord is about to just destroy this place systematically, body shots, one after the other, man. So, but that I'll end it there, Lord willing. This was edifying and exalting into the elect, right? Hey, we just want to continue to keep seeing how the Lord does these things, because it's going to be this ain't the end. All right, this is just the beginning. The Lord is only getting warmed up. Okay, there's going to be a lot more of events like this. All right, a lot more of major disruptions, major catastrophes happening in America. Matter of fact, before I end it, I had this alert. It says the U.S. and the U.K. and Ukraine may be behind Moscow terror attack, FSB chief. So it says the U.S. and UK and Ukraine may have been behind the last Friday's terrorist attack on the concert venue in a suburb in Moscow, according to the head of Russia's Federal Security Service. Now, Putin said that, and I'm going to come back and actually, for the sake of time, not to make this video too long, I'm going to come back with another lesson, Lord willing, and go through this article. But Putin said that anybody that was involved, they're going to pay. Okay, they're going to pay, and we know that the Lord has put the hooks back in, Gog and Magog's jaws. All right, the Medes, all of that is all synonymous with Russia. He put those hooks in his jaws, and he's working on the mind of the kings. So if it comes to be that they find some evidence that U.S. and U.K. and Ukraine was involved, then best believe there's going to be some type of retribution. All right, so in the dear Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.